Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's Authenticate Virtual Summit. Today, we're going to be hosting several sessions looking at the fit for FIDo sign-ins in commerce and financial services settings. And while we'll be looking at some perspectives from providers in those industries, I think what we have planned today, agenda-wise, is really a good fit for anyone in any industry to learn more about what the latest is with FIDo authentication, particularly given the introduction of passkeys. But before we get into the good stuff, let me cover all your favorite part of any kind of session like this, which is the housekeeping items. Welcome to On24. Today, all the content will be streamed through the media player, so be sure to adjust that to the size that makes your eyes happy and your viewership the best that we can go for today. And then along the bottom, you'll see some other widgets, including the questions widget. Please leverage that. We are going to really do our best to accommodate Q&A where we can on today's agenda. Note that the summit is being recorded. You will be able to access everything after the event in case you miss anything, you want to rewatch something. And then lastly, please do take the survey at the conclusion of the summit today. It really does help us to be informed and help us build out our educational programs. I'm Megan Shamas. I don't think I mentioned that. And I run marketing programs for the FIDo Alliance, including curating content for events like this. So thank you and welcome for joining us today. Also, thank you to our sponsors. So Beyond Identity and Hyper, our signature sponsors today, and also supporting our 1Password, Anonybit, Discope, and Talus. So thank you so much to our sponsors. And then just a quick look at what we're going to be doing today. So in a moment, I'm going to pass things over to Andrew Shikiar, who is the Executive Director and Chief Marketing Officer of the FIDo Alliance, who's going to give really an introduction into what the FIDo Alliance is doing to make passwordless possible. So you'll see here on the agenda, in the early parts of the agenda, we have really good kind of primer sessions from Hyper, and then we'll move into a more in-depth 101 on passkeys from Christian Brand and Tim Capali from Google and Microsoft, respectively. And then we'll move into a little bit of perspectives from somebody that has rolled out FIDo across multiple organizations, and that's Marcio Mello, who is one of our greatest FIDo champions. And with Dale Lazig from the Green Sheet, they'll have a really good chat about what you need to think about for FIDo and passkeys deployment considerations. And then we'll talk a little bit on the enterprise side. So Kurt from Beyond Identity and then myself will be talking a little bit about what to consider and what educational assets we have coming from the FIDo Alliance around the topic of enterprise sign-ins with passkeys. And then later in the day, so please do stay on for these. These are going to be great. I'm going to be speaking with Yash Padodia from Amazon about what the considerations are for any kind of authentication, but particularly a focus on FIDo and passkeys for just a large scale consumer organization, right? So Amazon deals with upwards of 1 billion users monthly purchasing and authenticating on Amazon.com. And then Andrew Shikiar will be back to speak with Susan Koski from PNC Bake about their perspectives deploying FIDo. And then we'll wrap up. So please do stick with us for the entirety of the summit. I think we have a really great agenda in store for y'all. But again, everything will be recorded. So if you need to revisit anything, you'll be able to do so after the webinar. So with that, let me turn things over to Andrew Shikiar, who's going to give you some perspectives on how the FIDo Alliance is looking at considerations for going passwordless.